from the Xfinity Studios at WVON.
We're your original social media.
You're listening to Inspirational Perspective with Linal Harris on 1690, The Talk of Chicago.
Change up the things you see. Open your mind to possibility. Find your power, passion, and your purpose. You know it's time for you to walk in greatness. Let's murder mediocrity. Slay your goals, live out your dream. Purpose right now. Inspirational perspective. Open your mind to a better life. It's time to live the dream. Your purpose now. Inspirational perspective. Let's slay your goals, let your greatness flow with inspirational perspective.
Good morning, Chicago. You're listening to Inspirational Perspective. I'm your host, Linal Harris, your very own life coach right here on WVON 1690 AM, The Talk of Chicago. Inspirational Perspective on your radio is all about murdering mediocrity and living the best life possible. So as I ask you every Sunday morning, are you living the best life possible? And this is the place to be to explore that possibility. Well, man, this is a special kind of Sunday. I don't know. I think I may have done a broadcast on my actual birthday before, maybe once years ago. I don't know if I have though. I gotta remember. I gotta go back through the archives. That's something we gotta do, man. We gotta go back through the archives and try to find it. But today is my birthday, man, and I'm in intentionally a phenomenal mood. Ultimately, what I want to do today, with you all's help, is let's count our blessings. Like, count our blessings. Let me tell you, man, I knew I've been wanting just about how things go. when you create these kind of intentions, you got to be careful. Because you're going to get challenged. I'm like, coming out of last week's show, I'm like, you know what, man? One of the things I want to do, and there's a quote my mom, she shared on the air some time ago, is when you're looking down, your blessings come up from high. And so when you're looking down, you might miss your blessings, right? So she shared that on one of the shows, and I put it up in a quote, and I happened to see it coming out of last week's show, and I'm like, man, you know, another way to honor my mom, because you guys know that's, it's still in my space, it's going to be in my space. But another way to honor her would be to actually get present to my blessings. And not just me, but I'm saying all of us, to actually get present to, like, what's really working and what is going well in our lives. So I began to make this list of the things that I'm incredibly grateful for. And I said, okay, today I turned 45. You guys know I'm not bashful about my age. I talk about it all the time. And it's funny because when I first started this show, a lot of y'all be like, you're so young. Now it's almost 9 years later and folks like, all right, yeah, he's 45. That's, he can say something. He got something to say. We'll listen to you. I'm getting up there, man. I'm so aware I'm 5 years from 50. I got a buddy of mine. He turned 53 on Thursday. Shout out to Kurt. We call him Flash. And partly because he's so fast. I mean, hey, and here's the thing. At 53 years old, he'll still outrun a lot of young bucks, man. Something to count as a blessing. Something to count big time as a blessing. The ability to do that, because I also think that when we're aging, or as we age, man, you know, some of us have a story that things can shut down or we can actually stop, whatever it is, or that we should stop, or that I should be weaker. I should feel this way. And one of the things I tell my clients all the time is that we live within the stories that we create. Like, you live within the stories that you create. And so if you tell yourself that, well, you know, I'm getting older, you know, that's why my body hurts. I'm getting older. That's why I'm slower. I'm getting older. That's why I can't think as fast. And guess what? You're telling yourself that story. You're creating that story. That's the kind of power you have, the capacity you have. And so that's how the narrative will play out. Well, I'm telling you this morning, that's not my story. I feel great. But here's one blessing that I did write down. You know, just the blessing of health and vitality. So Friday morning, maybe about 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., I'm rolling, man. I'm on the left-hand side of the court, got the ball, grabbed the rebound. I'm going coast to coast. 44 years old. I'm 45 today. And this is an NBA-sized gym. Now, it's a big gym, right? Coast to coast. See a big man. It's about 6'6", big fella, okay? He's chasing me down. What you gonna do, L? You know, what you gonna do? Then I see him turn, put his weight on that right leg. Say, he thinks I'm gonna lay it up with my left. He thinks I'm gonna lay it up with my left. One more dribble with the left, under the rim, scoop up with the right, 2 points. Okay, might not seem like nothing, but I just feel blessed that I have the full faculty of my body, man. And that I can run like that. Not only that I can run like that, but I got, Ade, how old are you, man? Hey, turn on Ade's mic. How old are you? Yeah.
25.
25. Ade's 25. And Justin, how old are you? 24. 23, 23, 23, 23?
34.
34. Oh. That's good, bro. I thought you were younger, man. I'd have gave you 24. That's the beauty of it. Hey, count that as a blessing. That's your blessing today. Good looks, young looks. But anyway, I lay the ball up, back step a little bit to catch my balance on both my feet, run back down to the other side to play defense. What are you taking for granted this morning? Like, you know, you get where I'm going? Like, because we see that, we do things like that, or we experience things like that. And then at the same time, something minute can happen in your life, and all of a sudden, you experience emotional shutdown. Oh, nothing works. It's like, nah, man, a lot is working. A lot is working. A whole lot is working. And are you really, truly present in counting all your blessings? So that's 45 blessings on my 45th birthday. I just talked about my health and vitality. Let me talk about health and vitality real quick. I think this is probably one of the major blessings that we take for granted and we're just not present to. Let me break down what I mean real quick. Like, we're just not present to the blessing of health and vitality until it's gone, or until it's beginning to fade away. Like, I remember when, you know, I'm talking about running the court at my age. I do see it as a blessing because I know there's a lot of people. I got friends my age right now who think I'm nuts. Like, you still hooping, bro? Are you crazy? But I understand, because part of it is, I'm just going to speak plainly, they've taken their health for granted. You're overweight, and so you can't, you know, you're trying to picture my experience in your body. Of course you're scared. And here's the thing. And if you really, truly wanted to, you could do it. Maybe it's a process, but you could do it. The human body is amazing. Right now, my mind goes to a gentleman that we always see in Ghana. He is the instructor for dance and music at the School of the Deaf and Blind in Ghana. He is in his late 60s, And every time we go, man, I watch how he moves. And he moves better than young folks. And then he's dancing with the young people. And I mean, not just, because when we get older, sometimes we do like 1, 2, 3. Like we want to show everybody in the crowd that I taught them and I know the moves. And so we'll step out there and we do 1, 2, 3. And then we'll step back because we can't go to 4. We're already out of breath. You know what I'm saying? This man, it ain't no 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And it continues. He's almost in his 70s. And I'm not just talking like regular moves. I'm talking about all the way down to the flow. I'm like, your knees don't hurt, bro? You feel me? Like, and then back up again with a jump and a bounce and a clap, and he's going. God has given us these beautiful machines to experience this spiritual journey. And I'm not sure that many of us are counting the blessing of health and vitality. Like right now in this moment is saying, okay, if I'm not where I want to be, how do I get where I want to be? Like, how do I start today? And a lot of us, I said this a few weeks ago, we have this sense that we have a lot of time. I was thinking about, my mom passing 63 years old, her father passing in his early 60s. I believe he was 65. And I just had this thought for a moment. I'm like, man, could I have just 20 years left? Now, I believe I have more, and I'm taking care of myself in a way to have more. But what if, then what would I be doing today? How would I move today to fully maximize 2 more decades? And then what am I willing to do right now to maybe squeeze out a 3rd or a 4th? And to do it with vitality. The other thing, one of the prayers I pray with my son every night is, God, help us to be a good steward of the blessings that you've given us. I'm going to put that down as another one, man. Right there. That's another one. Like, just the gift of being a good steward of the blessings God has given me. I'm typing it. And I ask him for more wisdom, more grace, more ability to actually be a good steward of the blessings he's given me. Like, how can I take these blessings to the next level? How can I continue to expand on what I've already been given? How can I fully experience these gifts? It's just a prayer. I'm constantly praying. Because for one, I'm counting my blessings, man. I'm counting my blessings, and I'm definitely thinking about the goodness of the Creator, because it doesn't have to be this way, i.e. Afghanistan. You're like, whoa, Linal, what are you talking about? Why are you bringing up Afghanistan? Man, look, you watch the news right now, you see what's happening there. That took place in a matter of a few days. A few days, and I think a lot of times we take just living in a civilized situation where we can go to the marketplace, we can buy our goods and wares, and we can do it safely. We take it for granted. Like, we don't even count that. That's just how it's supposed to be. Nah, it ain't always been that way. It haven't always been that way right here in these United States. But we'll take it for granted. Years ago, I put this blog post up, man, and the name of the blog post was, I think it was like 4 wheels or something like that. And the whole idea of the blog post is, many of us, man, we'll have a bad experience, or something will happen in our lives that we don't necessarily want to happen. And we'll get so consumed with that we'll navigate and run through all of our blessings without even noticing it. Like, for instance, we'll get in our car, start the car, and then start driving and say something like, oh, this old thing, oh. And it's like, but you're rolling. You're rolling. You got 4 wheels. You're rolling. And you'll ride past somebody on the bus stop. Don't even realize that they are envying you, that they want to be you. If the Lord would just bless me with 4 wheels. I'm going to add that to the list. Because here's the thing. I've been blessed. I got more than 4 wheels. I mean, we have multiple cars. And I think sometimes we don't we don't just sit back and say, thank you. Thank you. It's like I'm supposed to have this. And not only am I supposed to have it, I'm supposed to have more. And by the way, I'm all about being ambitious. I'm all about goals. There's a process. One part of the process is actually being fully present to what you have right now. Being fully content. I believe there's a gift in contentment. Another blessing. Another blessing. This one, I put this one down. Strength. Simple. Strength. This morning, walking in, Ade meets me at the door to let me in. I got 3 bags. It's not even a struggle. I'm being straight. 3 bags, it's not even a struggle. Because sometimes, man, you ever like smash your pinky finger real bad or stub a toe, and the impact it has on the entire body and your psyche? That ever happened to you? Like everything stops. And then like one of the first thoughts you might have is, man, why did that happen? How did that happen? Ouch. Most of us, like something foul comes out of our mouth. Ah! And then for that one moment, all you want back are the seconds before you busted that toe. If I could just do it again, if I could see the corner of the bed again, if I could just see that piece of furniture again, like that's all you want back in that moment. Now imagine it goes on for a week. Imagine it goes on for 2 weeks. After a while, all you're going to want back is the ability to walk straight without a limp. Or the ability to, I remember, man, playing football. Another blessing. Quarterback threw a pass so hard, man. Popped. It popped the baby finger here. You're a football player, right?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay.
No.
Justin, you play both. You big guys in here, man. I got some big guys. You play football? What position you play?
Tight end.
Tight. Okay, so you were catching passes.
Yeah, definitely.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly, I know what you're talking about.
This is a vet quarterback, though, man. He threw a rocket. I caught it. I didn't even realize it busted my baby finger. Like, put the fan out there. Catch it.
Adrenaline.
Almost fell down. You do the caught myself on the turf with my hand. Went for the touchdown. Running to the end zone. I went to go like this. The ball fell out because my finger didn't work. So I just I went like that, like I meant to. I kind of tossed it. Finger rolled it. Then I'm walking to the sideline. He said, "We're going for 2 points. Come back in the game, Boogie." That's what they call me. I'm looking at my finger like I can't. And then all of a sudden in that moment, I have a sense of loss for something I haven't really counted before. Like I didn't count the pinky before. I don't know that it mattered, but I don't know that I counted it. And for weeks, 8 weeks, I was present to what it was like to not be able to use your pinky finger. Everything gets more difficult. Like taking a shower, like how you roll the soap in your hand when you're taking a shower. You don't even think about that. How you just roll the soap. Some of us are so blessed. Somebody rolling the soap in their hand right now, and they like, God's not good to me. They rolling the soap in their hand. They don't even realize you take their pinky finger. That's it. No more rolling the soap. You be like this with it, trying to figure it out. That pinky finger plays a role. It does. You know what I'm saying? We're moving so fast. 6 weeks. No, 8 weeks. I'm without this finger, man. Now here's the other thing. The way it was hanging, I thought I might have lost it. I go to the doctor. They look at it. They say, "Oh man, the beautiful thing about the phalanges is it's just full of tendons. We just need the tendons to heal." They wrap it up. You gotta don't move it. 6 weeks. Here's the other thing. Let me tell you this. I went into the emergency room that night. See, count your blessings. I went into the emergency room that night. I go into the emergency room because my baby finger, my pinky finger is hanging. I thought the security guard, when I showed it to him, was going to go, "Oh man, let me go get somebody." You know what he told me? "You can sit down and wait." I went, how thoughtless? You don't see me suffering? I turned the corner to walk into Loyola University's ER room. And before I can even get around the corner, there's a gentleman in a wheelchair, sheet pulled over him with a knife in his shoulder, blood staining the sheet. He had been stabbed, the knife still in his shoulder. He's waiting. I see another woman surrounded by her family. Looks like she's in her parents' arms. They're elderly. She's grown. She's shrieking in pain. Just body shrieking in pain. I look around the ER, it's full. This is a random Thursday night. That's when we had practice. Random Thursday night. ER is full of people who are thinking, if I could just change a moment, if I could just do something different, if I could just get that moment back, if I could just have full use of my shoulder, if I hadn't said what I said, whatever it might be, who are just wishing that they could have back a moment, because in that moment they're not whole. Man, I remember walking out the ER like, this is not my situation. I went to Walgreens, wrapped it up, went to the doctor. That's when he looked at it. Oh man, you'll be all right. I said, I kind of figured that when I left the ER, I was going to be okay. Man, the other thing I wrote down, I'm just grateful and thankful for my thought process and my perspective. Like, I know that it's a gift. Even now, like how I see things, how I see the world. I get that God has blessed me tremendously. Even now, I was at a friend's house Friday night. He lost his mom when he was a teenager. And he had hit me up. He said, Linal, man, I just want to talk to you. He's actually a mentee, someone I've coached and mentored. Phenomenal young man. Just did a stint at Facebook. Now he's at Netflix, killing the game. Not even 30 years old. Condo right in Pilsen. So I stopped by and he told me, man, you've given me so much. You've helped me so much. I wouldn't be where I am without that. And I know the loss of your mom is a big deal. And I wanted to give this to you. I wanted to give this to you in person. He said, because I know other people can't tell you like I can, because I lost my mom as a teenager. He's had to navigate his early 20s. He had to navigate his life now without the guidance of his mom. And I don't know, this young man, he's spectacular to me because I don't know where I would be if I didn't have my mom in my early 20s, because I was at rock bottom. She was my bottom. I fell and there my mom was. You can come home. I love my father, but I don't think he would have opened the door. Just facts, you know what I'm saying? And that's, there's a role men play. But you can come home. Anyway, he tells me, he says, there's a gift in not having a mom. I'm like, wow. Tell me. He goes to the fridge, opens it, and grabs a beer. You want one? Hey, I'm gonna need one for this conversation. We pop the top to the beer, toast. He sits back. He looks at me and he said, yeah, man, it's a gift. I said, well, tell me what you mean. He said, you already noticed it. You're just not looking. Give me an example. He said, everything slows down. You see life differently now. He said, you probably have these moments of memory like you didn't have before, where you just remember things because they kind of go into frames because they're special. You remember things about legend. Even now, since your mom's passed, that you probably wouldn't remember because they get special. He's like, that's a gift. The ability to lock time in your mind. That's a gift. Everybody can't do that. And most people can't do it because they haven't really experienced loss. I know you can do it because I know you experienced loss. I looked at him. I'm like, man, you're right. He just starts pouring into me. Young man that I poured into. And it came at such a beautiful time because, like I said, last week, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do count your blessings. And then all of a sudden I go into the week and Monday I'm hit with a right hand hook. Boom. I mean, I'm telling you, this is like I'm caught off. And like when I say a right hand hook, like it lifts me off my feet type of hook. Like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Wednesday, I'm hit with the left. Boom. And they keep coming. Last night, I'm hit with a gut punch. I'm still blessed. He talked about it. He told me, he said, man, there's a gift in this. He said, because when you've been hit like this, the other hits, like they might hurt, but now you got the ability to actually go back to your corner and look at the situation and say, I've been hit harder. I've been hit harder than this. Oh, yeah, you didn't knock me down. I'm coming back out the round. I'm coming back out for the next round. Just know it. Right now is the next round for me. 45? Yeah. Right now is the next round for me. I took some hard punches, but the game ain't over. Count your blessings. How are you counting your blessings? One of the other things I wrote down that's had a tremendous impact on me, a tremendous impact in my life, is the transformative power of coaching, man. Like, who would I be? Where would I be? And then I think about how it all went down. I've shared this with many of you all before, but how it all went down is just amazing, because here's something I know I want to do, something that I would like to do, something I'm afraid to do. I almost passed it up. I think I may have told the story before. But I go to this seminar. I walk into the room. Nobody looks like me. See, that by itself is a deterrent. Nobody looks like me. Everybody looks like somebody else. I think there was one sister in the whole room. I listen to what they have to say and I say, man, this is good. This is good. But, you know, as a black man, your antennas are up though. But like, what are they, you know, what's really going on here? Like, can I fit? Will this work for me? What kind of juju is happening? You know, because we've been wired through epigenetics, man, to look for trouble, because, you know, ever since we've been on this land, we've been in trouble. So I'm looking. I like what I hear. At the end, they say, look, man, you know, you should be a part of this, but I can't make the decision right then. You know, these are coaches training to be coaches. I'm like, man, I don't know if I don't want to make this decision right now. I come back the next day, go through a workshop. Nobody in the workshop looks like me. Nobody. They say, what are you going to do? What many of you all don't know is what had me do this is because what was in my spirit was the Murder Mediocrity Summit. I had no idea how to do it. I knew I wanted to support. I knew I wanted to impact people. I just didn't necessarily have a formula. And that day they enrolled me in the coaching opportunity. I put my credit card on the table. I made the down payment. I walked to my car. As soon as I get to my car, I'm like, man, these white folks done got me. They done got me. Because I'm not talking about something that costs a couple of $100s. I'm not talking about something that costs 4 figures, you know, a few thousand. It was 5 figures. Like, man, these white folks done got me. I sit in the car, turn my credit card over to call 1-800, let them know someone has stolen my credit card. Because I'm not coming back to this. Y'all, you know, they ain't got me. Still small voice speaks to my spirit. You don't even know what this might do for you. They said you can come to the first session for free. Ruby, I see you laughing. This is my experience, man. You get where I'm going. You know how tough it was to make that decision. She's a coach. She's on Facebook laughing. She gets it. But then imagine this, Ruby. Imagine if I hadn't done it. You've been through the work. I turn my credit card over. I'm like, man, I'm just going to call this in. Something says, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Check it out. I go the first day. First day leads to the second month, the third month. A year later, my life is absolutely transformed. Absolutely transformed. My perspective, absolutely transformed. My abilities, absolutely transformed. And since then, I've been transforming other people's lives. Sometimes we don't think about the collateral damage of fear. I wouldn't be able to do these shows, have the perspective I have without that. You count your blessings this morning? Some of us, we think it was by our own strength. You know, you think you just happened into that class, you just happened into that degree, you just happened. Nah, man. Series of small steps that the Creator's helping you make, the Creator's helping you take. You better give him his due. I don't care what the situation looks like. Give him his due.
I went through a Job experience, and I mean, it was just like Job in the Bible, right?
Just like?
And I'm telling you, it still ain't over, but it's over. I'm on the other side.
Okay. All right.
I'm on the other side.
Ooh, I don't want a Job experience in my life. No, thank you. Don't do that to me, Lord. Please don't.
No. I'm just letting you know. Had I not gone through that and survived it with lessons,
okay,
and blessings,
mm-hmm,
I would not be here to tell you this story that I'm about to share.
Okay, be quick. We got break coming.
Okay, similar to you, when you went to your conference and nobody looked like you, I was in that same mood or mode at a church.
All right.
And I went through the course and got the best blessing of deliverance. It was like being born again for real, for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I was mourning, having lost 3 people who are very close to me due to this COVID mess.
Right.
And I was trying to get past it, and I was trying to rearrange a table on the patio. And I couldn't move the glass and metal table.
Okay.
I needed some help. It was a warm, sunny day in September, no wind blowing, and I'm struggling with this table. And I stepped back into the apartment and looked at the table and said, Lord, why can't I move this table? And Linal, this glass metal table with a 25-pound weight on the umbrella lifted itself up about 1.5 feet. I thought it was going to fly away, and then it dropped right back down, right where I needed it to be.
All right now.
And I just looked outside, I peeked outside to see if anybody else saw it. Nobody saw it. So I busted out and laughed, and I've been laughing ever since. I thank the spirit that moved that table for me, and my life has completely changed. The sense of humor of God is amazing. I've never told this story on the public airwaves, and so I just wanted you to know you just inspired it to come out. Look for blessings.
Beautiful. Look for it.
Look for blessings. The Spirit is real right now. All those people that have gone on that love you, all you got to do is call on them, and they will help you in all situations. I kid you not.
This spiritual journey is a gift. Let me put that down. Like, that's what you got me present to is, this spiritual journey is a gift. And I think one of the things I'm really grateful for is the perspective and the understanding of the truth that this is what it is. It's a spiritual journey. And so I'm grateful for that. I think if we don't really get that, then we can go through this life and miss so much because we don't really see the full dimensions of what life has to offer. And I know that has a tremendous impact on me. So I love that. Vicky said, I'm grateful for my courage. That's great perspective. Courage. And Vicky is a Slay Your Goals member, so I know she understands my definition of courage because I see courage as the ability to take action in the face of fear. We'll write that down. Courage. I'm grateful for courage as well. Thank you for y'all helping me fill out this list. Y'all actually doing my work this morning. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to leverage other people to help me work. I'm going to write that down. Leverage others to help me fulfill my purpose. Putting that down too. Help me fulfill on my purpose. I don't take that for granted at all. I'm even with, Ade in the room right now, man. Looking forward to us doing a lot more work. Looking forward to the work that he does, having impact on you guys. I'm grateful for that. Having people support me. Justin here every Sunday. Grateful for you, brother. Yeah, I like that one. Thank you, Vicky. That had legs. Elaine, y'all know how to make me feel. I'm grateful for inspirational perspective and slay your goals. That's dope. I appreciate, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the opportunity to pour into other people. And so I think that's another one, opportunity to pour into others. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Elaine. That's a good one. That's a good one. We doing well. We're at 24. 21 to go. All right. What else we have here? Let's on the feed. I'm just going down the feed. Lisa, Yah's continuing faithfulness to me in my life, man. The relationship. What would this journey be without connection? Here's what I believe. The difference between a tragic life and a fulfilled life has everything to do with the connection to the Creator. Like, I know the reason I say that is because I have to believe that people who we all experience some form of tragedy. But if my life is defined by that tragedy, it's because I'm out of relationship. Because when you're in relationship, he's going to give you perspective. Like, there's a reason. And even if you don't get it right away, you know it's coming, and that gives you a certain type of peace. So 2 things that I'm incredibly grateful for is, man, a connection to the Creator. That's big time. Thank you for that, Lisa. A connection to the Creator. And then the other thing is, the gift of communication with the Creator. Like, that's because he helps you understand and define what's happening in your space at any given time. I love that. That's awesome. Cool. Let's see what else. Erica, grateful soul for so much, including family. Yes. The love of my parents, divine connection. You said it. Health, happiness, friends, you and Pam, and so much more. It's beautiful. That's beautiful. Fatherhood. I wrote fatherhood down. It's one of the things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for it on so many levels. There's so many layers to it. But part of the reason I'm incredibly grateful for fatherhood is because it enhanced my connection with Yah. It enhanced my connection to the Creator. Because having a child is like having your heart outside of your body, moving around, making its own decisions. And based on the decisions that your heart makes, it can hurt you tremendously. That's what having a child is like, man. I know you get it, bro. And he's got 2. That's why I should have known you were early. You got 3? That's why I should have known you were older. 3 children. That takes time. Takes time to do that. And I'm talking to Justin. And so anyway, I'm like, I found myself praying more, like connecting with God more, because I realized, like, as much as I want to protect him, as much as I feel like when he's in my presence as a man, because we as men, often we have this, like, one of the things I wrote down is I'm grateful for being a man. I'm gonna come back to that. Not just a physical man though, but I'm talking about a mental man. We're gonna get on that. A mental man, spiritual man, because there's a lot of men physically who are 45 years old who still operate as boys. Grateful for the opportunity to be man, to operate with a different level of maturity. That's something else. Anyway, what I was talking about with my son, like, man, just you have to pray because he's not in our care right now, right? He's at my mother-in-law's. And while I trust her, it's different when your seed is right next to you, man. And so I find myself asking the Creator to watch over him. And that has enhanced my connection. I'm grateful for that. Man, the ability to give, because here's the thing. There are some who don't have the ability to give anything, absolutely nothing. See, one of the things I have down on this list is the gift of travel. Let me talk about that real quick. One of the things that travel does is it broadens your perspective. It exposes you. I can remember being in India, in the city of Agra. What makes the city of Agra significant is that it is the home of the Taj Mahal. And so I recall being with the tour guide, and he says, this is as far as we can go in the car. We have to walk the rest of the way. And so we park the car, we grab our cameras and things like that, and we're walking. And as we're walking, he didn't give us any heads up. I mean, he was, I guess he was used to this. But as we're walking, all of a sudden, we're walking, and there's like this big red gate around the Taj Mahal. So it's not like you can just see it from wherever you are. Like there's a gate around the Taj Mahal. I think it might actually be called the Red Gate. I mean, it's I like when people name things like that. It's just like, it's the Red Gate. Anyway, check me though. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, so this beautiful red brick gate. It's elaborate. And you have to go through that gate. But before you go through that gate, you have to walk down this path. And on the path are not just poor people. I want to put this in perspective, because sometimes we think poverty is the worst that it gets. These aren't just people who are in poverty. These are people who are suffering mentally, suffering emotionally, suffering physically. And you can hear it. You can hear it in their voices when they're asking for rupees. You have something to give. And when you look at them, many of them have these horrible deformities. Like I saw things I had never seen on the way to see one of the most beautiful man-made pieces of architecture, the Taj Mahal, which is like built to like 98, I say it like 98%, like 99% perfection. Like as close as a human being can get. But there's like 2 imperfections in the Taj Mahal, you all. The tour guides, they'll take you to it. Wow. And they'll show you like this here is not symmetric with the other side. For some reason, they forgot to round it, or, and it's like, you're like, oh, wow. Like, and you took them a long time to find these things, right? Because the king who built the Taj Mahal himself, he inspected it. And not only did he inspect it, but he wanted to make sure nobody else could do something like it. And because he wanted to make sure nobody that could do something else like it, he cut off the thumbs of all of the, what do you call them? The people who sculpted the marble. He cut off all their thumbs, man. So that way they can never hold a chisel again. Paid them a diary, but you'll never build something like this again. He cut off their thumbs. See, we in the 21st century, like, oh, my feelings hurt because, like, I mean, man, people have endured some things. Count your blessings. So anyway, I'm walking into the Taj Mahal and I see this. One of the things I saw was a man who was bent down on all fours. His body, his torso was stretched. And he had hair all over his body. He was basically naked. He had hair all over his body. And he could barely talk, and he just had a plate in front of him. And I just thought to myself, man, imagine the suffering. Just imagine the suffering day to day that this man goes through. Lord, help me to be more grateful. Here I am, a black boy from Chicago, thousands and thousands of miles from home, abundance of rupees in my pocket, going to see one of the 7 wonders of the world. And the only way to get in is you have to walk past extensive suffering. Y'all wonder why I am the way I am, man. I've seen some things. That's just one example. Some of the things I've seen all over the world. I tell us all the time, we're blessed. You're blessed. And I know folks are like, hey, Linal, it's easy for you to say. No, it should be easy for you to say too, because you don't really get how bad it can be. Oh, my wife hurt my feelings. You don't really get how bad it can be, man. You got to have some bounce back. I've seen some things, man. That's why today I was like, I'm choosing. I don't care how this week went. I'm choosing this week. I'm counting my blessings. I'm counting my blessings. I'm counting my blessings. I'm counting my blessings. The gift of travel. Man, has it changed me. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. I'm grateful for knowing who and whose I am. I like that one. Thank you, Jerry. Like, for real, do you know who you are? Like, can you be really, truly grateful for who it is that you are? And by the way, let me put something on this. Like, grateful for who you are because you know your purpose, because you know your talents. Like, you can name your talents. The Lord has given me, the Creator has given me these gifts, and I know how to use these gifts. Like, gratitude for the strengths that make up who you are. Gratitude for the roles that you have the opportunity to play in your life and other people's lives. Like, really knowing who you are. And then knowing who you are to the extent where you can stand in your own, where you're not comparing yourself to others, where you're not insecure, where you know that God has given you gifts and you're operating in those gifts and that He has an abundance more to give you. Man, that's good. Grateful for purpose, grateful for knowing who I am. Do you guys believe I didn't write down purpose? Can you believe that? This is why I'm relying on you all this morning. Grateful for purpose. Grateful for knowing who I am. Grateful for knowing that I'm a child of God, that I'm a creator, and that I have the capacity to create so much. Just grateful. Grateful that I have the formula for creation, that I can declare things into existence. And that if I operate with integrity and take action, those things will come. I'm grateful for goals. So much to be grateful for this morning, man. My spirit is full. Y'all doing it. Y'all doing it.
To the point of gratefulness, you hit it on the head. Most of us are too busy complaining and not looking to what things that God or Creator have done for us. For me personally, long as I was able, long as I did what I needed to do to take care of my family, Allah or the Creator has always blessed me. He has never left my side as long as I took care of my family. And that's what men have to learn. Doesn't matter what goes on. If you take care of your family, the Creator always going to take care of you. I learned also, I never look back. I always continue to look forward. So that's something I've learned. And something else was very important. I'm a proactive person. I'm not a reactive. I believe that most
that's
of us,
a blessing. Yeah.
You're right. That's a great blessing to be proactive, not reactive. As long as God gives you breath in your body, you are always able to make something happen. So I never dwell in what's wrong. I always dwell in what I can do. So most of us have to learn to continue to push forward.
When a person is grateful for their trauma, it's likely because they've achieved healing. And so grateful for healing. I'm going to put that down, man. Grateful for healing. Y'all good. Y'all good, man. Grateful for healing. That's beautiful. One of the things I put down, not only being grateful for my childhood, but also grateful for my executive functioning skills. One of the things that as a coach I've experienced is working with different people and realizing that often the trauma that they've experienced has put them in a state of constantly worrying about only the right now. It's put them in a state of survival. And when a person is in a state of survival, what happens is they don't function well executively. What do I mean executively? To be executive means to be strategic. It means to plan. And so they have a hard time planning because they're so used to something traumatic coming at them in the moment because of their environment, because of their childhood, because of their neighborhoods, because of the things they've experienced and seen, that even when they're placed in safety, they're still thinking about the present moment, what needs to be done right now. The ability to actually sit and think about the future. Think about how you want to move in the future. Think about what you want to create in the future and the actions it takes to create in the future and create a strategic plan escapes them. This is one of the reasons why I support individuals like this as a coach for a few different nonprofits. Because I become their executive functioning skill in many ways. And these are gifted people, by the way. Gifted, who are giving back tremendously, but they just have a hard time with that. And I'm present to the fact that I have that gift. And so not only am I able to give it, right? Someone said the ability to give earlier. I think it was Cantice who said, grateful for the ability to give. So not only can I give it, grateful for that, but then I can also use it in my life to enhance not just my life, but the life of my family, my clients, etc. That gift has given me so much. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful. The blessings of being a man. Let me hit this real quick. Sisters, y'all listen. In our culture, back in the motherland, there was a process that boys had to go through to become a man. In some cultures, what would happen is the boy would be sleeping and his father or another group of men would come into the house and drag him out of his bed. He didn't know it was coming. Depending on age, sometimes it might be 15, sometimes it might be 16, sometimes it might be 18. Different cultures, they would do this different ways. And they would drag him out of his bed, away from his mama. And the mother knew it was going to happen. And so when they're dragging him out of the bed, because often it might be his father, often it might be somebody else, they'll have a mask on. And they'll drag him out the bed, and the mother will be dramatic. Oh, Lord, don't take my son. You know, just to create the moment of him being pulled away, because this is the one time mama can't save you. So she just screams in the background as they take her baby. And I believe that many of these mothers, while they may have been dramatic, there was a real pain because they knew when he came back, their boy would be gone. That little boy that would hug on her and cling to her and do boyish things, depend on her, he would be gone because in his time away, his father and the other men in his village would teach him what it means to be a man. It was intentional because our ancestors knew that it was very important because of the role that a man plays in our society, the role that a man plays in our communities, the role that a man plays in our cities, the role that a man plays in our churches, the role that a man plays in our homes is incredibly important. And so the moms knew they had to let him go. They knew they had to let him go because that's the only way for the village to survive, for her to survive. Like her survival depends on him becoming a man, because if something happens to her husband, she wants to know that she can lean on her son, who is now a man. Right now, there's a lot of boys depending on their mamas, full-grown man. Mama can't depend on him. And then that boy, because he hasn't been taught to be a man, is going out making other boys. So mama not just taking care of him, but she's also taking care of his children. Why? Because he's a boy. He looks like a man, stands like a man, walks like a man, has the strength of a man. But really, you start talking to him, spend some time with him, you realize he's just a boy. At some point, the Creator saw it fit to move me into manhood. I didn't have the gift of this process. See, because what they would do is they would take these boys into the jungle and they would put them through intentional hardship, push them to the edge to help them understand what it means to feel pain and still move forward, to feel emotional despair and still move forward, to feel lack and create abundance. Like they had to teach them these things because this is what it means to be a man. A month or two later, what used to be a little boy walks back into the village, but something's different. You might even have the same frame. You might have the same build, maybe a little stronger, maybe a little leaner because he had to get his own food. But his spirit was different because he now has a spirit of a man. Today, 45 years old, I'm so grateful for the gift of being man, for the gift of even inside of however I might feel, being responsible, having the ability to tether my words, tether my emotions, look at the big picture, connect with the Creator and ask him to help me align with the greater plan, to be responsible, to take care of those that I love, take care of those in my family that need support, to give. To deny my impulses for the greater good of the community, the greater good of the village, the greater good of my purpose. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a man, like to truly be a man. I don't take that for granted. I wanted to call that one out, man, because nowadays in this modern society, see, we don't have to be a farmer, a soldier, a gatherer, a protector. Like, we get to pick roles. There was a time where you might be bending over to till the field and you have to have your sword because you got to be able to protect your family. You might be carrying the water, but you got to have your sword. And so there was a different, like, you had to be a man. And if you weren't a man, you were an outcast because you were no good to the village. Get away. Go away. We need men in our community. We need like solid men because right now we're getting taken and overrun by boys. And the only thing that can stop it are men. I had to say that. I mean, it just is in my spirit. And I hope that a man that's a boy right now heard it and it just triggered you on the inside. Like something about it triggered you. And before you get mad at me, I just want you to get present to who you are. It may not be your fault that you're still a boy. You might not have known. So in this moment, you heard it. You could either put your anger towards me or you can open up your heart and say, God, I'm mad about what he just said, but help me step into my manhood. Help me use this energy, this emotion, and curve this into a place that actually takes me into a new place from boy to man, so that I'm not taking from those around me, but so that I'm giving back, not just to my family, but to others in the community, not just to my children, but to their friends and their community, and that I'm living my purpose as a man. We need more men. Amen. I'm grateful for the gift of love. Love, man. Somebody said God has a sense of humor. Like love, man, it's that thing. It's that thing. It's that thing. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the experience, and it stretches you. It stretches you, man. I'm grateful for the gift of marriage. I'm grateful for the gift of love. And love is an ultimate be with, an ultimate trust. And there was a point in time in my life where I didn't have the capacity. I had too much fear. And I'm grateful that God gave me the courage, the understanding of commitment, the understanding of what love really truly is. Like one of the things I learned from my mom is how to love. Like she loved love. Like she knew how to give love. And she had this limitless flow of love and just giving. And I'm just grateful for a piece of that. I'm truly grateful for a piece of that, man. And I don't take it for granted because it just wasn't always there. There was a time in my 30s where I was a boy and I didn't have the capacity to love. I could barely love myself, man, let alone love anybody else. I think that's one of the reasons why I just, I had that moment of being man, because I know what it feels like to be a grown man and still operate like a boy and not really know how to be man. Don't even realize that you're being boy, breaking hearts. Like, if you're a grown man and you think breaking somebody's heart is cool or it's frivolous, it doesn't even matter. You're a boy. You're a boy. You don't understand the full gravity of the impact you're having on somebody's life. The impact spiritually that you're creating. It's boy stuff. And I can be with it. I'm just asking you to take a step forward. One of the things I wrote down in terms of what I'm also grateful for is I'm grateful for being born to Mildred Harris. I'm grateful for that. Like it's funny because in the deep waves of grief, like because one of the things I said at my mom's funeral is I stopped asking God why a long time ago. I don't ask why. I've learned that he's blessed me too much, man. He's blessed me way too much. So I'm not going to ask why. I just ask for the wisdom to understand. And one of the gifts that he gave me, man, one of the gifts he gave me almost immediately is like, I gave her to you for 44 years. I'm like, facts, true. Like, let me get present to that. Like, let me just be present to that. Like, I was born to a woman who loved God. Like my connection now to the Creator, my ability to pray. My mom and I, man, I used to talk to her and I'm like, Mom, what's this whole thing? Like, you got to be perfect to pray. And she was like, you don't got to be perfect to pray. You just pray. Like God is in constant communication. He has spoken to people who have done horrible things. Like, man, okay. That opened up a whole path for me. Because we have these gifts, man. I think sometimes we don't realize that condemnation is nothing more than separation. Instead of staying in condemnation, maybe you should just be trying to get connected, because whatever you did. Now it's trying to figure out what you need to do about what you did. Get connected. Anyway, my mama loved God, man. And she loved being a mom. I don't know what it's like to be mothered by a mother who is irritated with you, irritated by your presence. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you want? Oh, God. Oh, like, I don't know what that's like. I didn't have that experience. Like, I was always valued. My thoughts, my being was always valued. I'm grateful for that. I was raised by a woman who wanted the absolute best for her children. Absolute best. Like, and I think about it, right? Because my mom and I, we told the story before of her taking me out of school and putting me in a private school And I remember how hurt I was. We talked about how hurt I was because I wanted to go to St. Joe's and play basketball. And I had a little scholarship. And she like, well, nah, you ain't gonna get the education you need there. Basketball's cool. Gonna make sure you can still play basketball, but you're gonna go somewhere else. My mom enrolled me in this all-white school, man. I'm like, what is wrong with her? What is wrong with her? Like, I don't know. What is happening? They can't even hoop. These dudes are awful. Right? Like, I mean, some of them can play. And I look back on it and I think about her knowledge, her perspective, her wisdom. She wanted the absolute best for her children. And she put her whole heart, her whole self, her whole being into raising us. Like that was like number one for her. It was number one. It wasn't out here like, I got to get this paper. I got to get these bags. The first real nice bag my mama ever got came from me. I bought her the bag because she was spending her bag on us, if you get what I mean. That's the kind of mama I had. I'm so grateful for that. So grateful for that. She put her heart into raising children that can make it in this earth realm. And even though she's gone, like, man, I have all the tools I need to thrive, all the tools I need to move forward. And she had so much to do with that. I'm incredibly grateful just for the experience of having had her. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that she taught me that this is nothing more than a spiritual journey, Linal. This is nothing more than a spiritual journey. I'm grateful for like her openness and her perspective to listen to me as I navigated the journey. What about this, Mom? What about that? What do you think about this? I like to throw my mom all types of like brain twisters because I knew she was a Bible scholar. I'm thankful for her connecting me to the Creator at a very young age where I can be in communication. I have a personal relationship. See, that came from her. The other night, Legend, he wanted to hear a story. I told him an amended story of Joseph. Partly because that's what I learned. I learned to tell stories like that from her. So I didn't tell him about his brothers, I didn't tell him about all the bad stuff. I just told him a good story of Joseph. Joseph's daddy loved him. Loved him so much, he put him in colorful clothes. I said, Mommy and Daddy give you colorful clothes? He says, yes. Yes, Daddy. Telling him this story, he's laying in bed. I said his father gave him the beautiful, beautiful clothes. And somehow they got separated. But his father also taught him how to pray and how to be connected to the Creator. I said, that's why we pray. Because if we ever get separated, I want you to know how to pray to the big, big Father. He says, you gonna leave that? I said, no, I don't plan to. But I want you to know that the Creator's got you no matter what. Like my mom taught me that. And how to have a connection. And the gift of pouring it into a whole nother generation, man. Legacy is a blessing. Legacy. Where we at? We got 6 minutes out. How many we got? Legacy. Like all these opportunities, like physical displays of strength. And as I'm listening, man, Kirk Franklin's Smile came on. And even in all that's going on, man, I'm just grateful that I can smile. Even when my heart is heavy, I can smile. I can smile. I'm just grateful for the smile. And I think sometimes, man, we forget. We forget how blessed we are. And this morning, I just wanted to let you all know, man. I know a lot of people, condolences, Linal, and I appreciate them. A lot of people might be feeling sorry for me. You don't have to feel sorry for me. You don't have to feel sorry for me because I'm tremendously blessed. God has blessed me, man, in so many ways. And I just want to come on this morning and to share that. Come on this morning and talk about the many blessings that the Creator has gifted me with. And the many blessings He's gifted all of us with. And in many ways, just remind us that at the end of the day, it comes down to the attitude that you choose. And if you choose an attitude of gratitude, I can guarantee you that it's going to shift everything around you. If you choose an attitude of gratitude, I guarantee you it's going to shift everything around you. We all take losses. All of us have to compromise in some place. Many of us, we have to press pause. We have desires, we have dreams. But at the end of the day, you can place your focus there, or you can place your focus on the gifts. The tremendous gifts that God has given us, that He continues to give. Because all we have right now is the present moment. In this present moment, if you're blessed, if you have your health, if you have your mind, and you can in any way feel a sense of gratitude, stand in that. Shift gears into that. And let that be your driver and your source for creation. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the birthday blessings. God bless you, man. I'm looking forward to another year of blessings. Another year of perspective, another year of learning, another year of gratitude, and whatever may come with the journey. Know the Creator's got my back. My name is Linal Harris. You've been listening to Inspirational Perspective. Right here on WVON 1690 AM, the Talk of Chicago. Count your blessings. Be blessed.